Evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Ask Leah. Tonight's question comes from a staff member in an organisation, and it's a challenge they're having with their leader at the moment. The leader is more operational, the staff member is more strategic. And this leader's pretty old school. They like to have a bit of a joke, a bit of humour in what they do, like a bit of banter, and unfortunately, it's often at the more strategic staff member's expense. In fact, this leader makes jibes and digs at this staff member, not all the time, but certainly has done it a few times in a sort of, come on if you're on the tools kind of way, as if this person's work is the fluffy extra and not that important. And the staff member reached out to me because they said, Leah, even though he is suggesting that it's a bit of banter, a bit of fun, it makes me feel like my work is devalued. It makes me feel devalued. And crucially, because it's in front of other people, it essentially gives them permission to see me the same way. What do? This person has tried to raise it with their leader before and thought they might have got somewhere, but they also got the impression the leader did think they were a bit of a precious snowflake and just needed to be able to suck it up. And, it's resilience and character building. Sounds very, very old school to me, but we do still see this stuff. So the question, do I think you're being overly sensitive? No, I don't. I'm all for humour. I love a bit of banter and mucking around, but not at the expense of other people, not when it makes someone else feel less than, and particularly not if there is a power dynamic at play. And there is here. This person is your leader, so what they said or say has extra weight. So I do absolutely think you're entitled to have another conversation with them. You've got to think about how you do that. Based on what you sent me, it sounds like it is safe for you to speak up. I don't get the impression that you will be punished for speaking up, but doing it in an appropriate way is important. One-on-one, not in front of other people. As you said, you have bitten back before with your own, humorous dig back, and you knew that didn't sit well, it didn't feel right. And you're right, you can get into that passive aggressive stuff there. So I think it is a private conversation, and you really want to convey to this leader why it's a problem. And that why is crucial, because you can explain that it's not about you being sensitive. It is you're concerned about the impact those digs, even if they are well-intentioned and meant to just be a bit of a joke, you're concerned about the impact that has on your ability to do your job. So how might you approach the conversation? It might be, I appreciate it is not your intention. We've spoken about this before. However, when you do make those sarcastic or, jokey little jibes at the strategic work that I do, I feel like it devalues the work that I do for the organisation. And my even bigger concern is that it gives the other people in the room the permission to do that as well. And my concern is that that can impact my ability to do my job in the best way possible for the organisation. Again, I get that from your perspective, it's just good-natured banter. However, I'd really like that, if the jokes can be kept for other things rather than aimed at the work that I do. You play around with how you say it. That's off the top of my head just now. I'm really happy to talk this one through with you in more detail. I think that by framing it like that, you're not saying you're deliberately doing a bad thing. You appreciate it's not their intention, but then you're explaining the why, the impact that it is having not only on you, but on your ability to do good work. That should speak to the leader's motivations and drivers, because you're being paid to do a job, right? You're being paid to do a job, and undermining your credibility can impact your ability to do your job well. And then crucially, you're asking for what you want to see at the end. That's really important. Think about what that might be, It might be saying, what I'd like is for you to please not use my work for those digs for the reasons we've spoken about. The ask is important because once you've done that, if this behavior continues, then you need to look potentially, depending how serious it gets, at other options for raising this. So try to have the conversation again. You can keep it light. It doesn't have to be a big doom and gloom thing. I think you can do that really well, but just with a bit more clarity about why you're having this conversation. So it's not just because you're being sensitive. So I hope that helps. It is a complex one. If you have a communication, leadership, self-management, people question you would like answered, send it through and I will do my best to answer it next week. Cheers.